step backwards today, but pulled it out at the end. And it's okay winning ugly. We dominated Everton, should have crushed them. That was 0-0, and then we have a game like we did today, and we get the 3 points. So it's a funny old game.
Indeed.
And we got to look forward to what's coming up next.
Yep.
Yeah, and you've got to just off your cap, I guess, to Leicester. At the moment, they're kind of fun to watch. Mahrez is just an absolute joy to watch on the pitch.
Isn't he?
And things didn't end well at the end of last season for them. Nigel Pearson decided he didn't want to be a part of what the management was trying to do anymore, and the board and all that, and left the club. They brought in Claudio Ranieri, and they got slated for that move. And it's brilliance. It's just brilliance. And when you look and you talk about Mahrez and you look at what he was doing, he was playing in like Algeria, in the middle of their leagues 2 years ago, and now he is a superstar in the Premier League.
Where's he from? Do you know what nationality is? I have no idea.
I thought he's Spanish.
He might be.
I don't know. Riyadh. Yeah, I really have no idea. Somebody might. I heard today he's Australian. I can't be right. Anyway.
All right. So let's
they're fun to watch.
Yeah. So Palace coming up Sunday. Chelsea and Arsenal play Saturday. That will be the prime game, I guess, on Saturday for everyone to hope that everybody gets injured and the ground swallows up all the players.
10 broken legs prayer.
Yep. And
wow.
Sorry, that's really shit. All right, just eight.
Just eight. We're hoping to see some of the younger players and some of the players that we have not seen that we've talked about play in Europa League on Thursday. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. But predictions for next Sunday, Palace. Sammy, start with you.
I think this is going to be the turn for our club. God, in my business we call this talking my book. I'd like to say that we're going to win 2-0.
I'm going to say 2-1, and I'm hoping that that's to us. I'm kind of scared it's going to be the other way around. They've scored 8 goals this year. We've scored 4. You average that out, it's 2-1 the wrong way. I'm going to flip it though and say 2-1 Tottenham. Simon,
can't say 2-1.
No, I'm not going to. I'm going to say 3-0. As much as I went 3-1 for Karabag,
nice,
because I think we'll take him for granted a little bit. I don't think we're going to take Palace for granted, and I think we're going to be going for 3 on the spin, and I'm going for 3-0. Don't ask me who's going to score. I'm just getting a bit of myself there with this.
I'm hopeful that rested players will score, and it's nice that we can have midweek fixture and potentially
Dembele, Bentaleb, and Eriksson will score.
Might not be on the pitch, but they'll score next week.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I've got. You guys got anything else you want to add before we get on?
Yeah,
Simon?
I think we need to touch on last week's show.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because it was kind of a bit of a watershed moment for us, and this is absolute rubbish compared to what we did last week, and obviously because we had an esteemed guest in Lyle, and we got a bit of a shine out of that.
Yeah, we did. I get texts periodically through the week because I can go on to the podcast hosting site account and I can see how many downloads and listens that we have. And last year when we had Davey Elder, the Spurs poet, and Rob White on, we had right around a little over 1,500 listens to that show, and that was a big deal for me. I never thought that we would have that many people listening, and we've been averaging right around that, little less, little more, depending on each of the shows that we've run already. And then we had Lyle Thomas on last week from Sky, and it's even jumped up since the beginning of the show. 2,662 downloads and listens. That is a ton, almost double from the largest that we've ever done before. And Lyle's been talking it up. I think some of his media brethren that he works maybe with and or for have also listened and retweeted some stuff out. Sam, you were telling me you had one quick conversation, retweeted something, and it got over 3,000 views.
Your number of downloads coincides with a tweet that I had sent out, and then I checked to just kind of see how well it was received, and like 3,000 people had received that tweet in some way, shape, or form. It's amazing what happens when we shut up.
Yeah, it really is. This show probably get about 600 listens, and that'll be all of our friends and moms and
yeah, right. I think the thing that blew me away was just the sheer number of unsolicited feedback that people learned, and I tell you. I kind of think about, listening through, a year or so ago when you were talking about what you wanted to do with Pod, and man, that's exactly what we did. We had this guy that was just an expert, and he has what he does on a daily basis is what people crave to know, and we just kind of unwound him and let him go, and he was great. We all learned. Everybody did. Everybody got something out of that show, and I think that's the reason why it was so popular. I'm very, very grateful that he came on. I mean, look, he had choices, and kind of chose us, and that's very flattering, and hopefully it was a great use of his time. It certainly was ours.
And it's funny because as a podcast whole, I can also see the amount of plays total for as long as the site's been up, and we are literally 13 away from 25,000 downloads and plays. That's just great. We have 3,400 followers.
Not the million that some other podcasts have.
No.
We got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
well, people had fun with it, so
yeah.
So more of that, and
it's fun. Yeah, listen, and that's what we want to try to bring you guys. We're doing our best. Cross my heart and hope to die. Doing our best to bring Brad back and see if we can have him do a podcast with us this year. I think he said he was going to talk to the Fox people and let us know of that soon. And we've also got some other people that we are lining up that are of the same ilk as Lyle. So,
but we're bringing back Rob White, and we're bringing his sidekick Vass Coney, right?
Yeah, and Vass.
For those, get the ratings up again.
Yeah, no, Vass is wonderful. Listen, that is going to be us introducing the show, saying hi to those guys, and letting them tell stories. Vass has gobs of stories.
It's going to be a continuation of my discussion with them at the community center, the Irish
Center.
Yeah, the Irish Center. Those two guys, the stories that they have is pretty remarkable.
And that's what we want to do. So, and we want to bring that to you guys, let you guys listen, and that will be coming up shortly as soon as we can work that out with them. So, yeah, future's bright, and listen, for all of the people that have been with us since the beginning, and you know who you are, we know who you are, thank you very much. For all of you new listeners, listen, it's fun for us to do. We've always kind of tailored this thing and sold this thing as three guys sitting around a table at a bar talking football. And it's not going to be real newsy. It's not going to be real, like, mini ESPN or Sky Sports or anything like that. It's three guys hanging at a bar talking football. And that's all it's ever going to be. The people that we bring on, sometimes they'll be more informative. Sometimes they'll be just like us, which those shows are great too. And when we have Rob and we have Davey and even some of our media guests, listen, they like to have fun too. And we will cater to that. But for the rest of the year, we're really looking forward to some of the guests that we're going to have on and bringing them to you.
Yeah.
So,
I equate it to us being the Stiff Records shoving two fingers up to A&M Records.
I like your style.
We are the punk rock of podcasts.
We are the punk rock of podcasts.
Yeah.
Oi, oi!
I tell you, the future is bright. I'm excited about having some more quality guests on. I mean, I think when you have a guy like Lyle on, I mean, he allowed us to produce a quality product, and hopefully by way of his graciousness coming on, we'll be able to get more guys like him. I do have a huge thank you to the guys at another Spurs podcast, a great one at that, the Cartilage Free guys. I have to thank Skipjack. Please follow him at Skipjack0079. He's kind of there. He's one of the mainstays on the show. And he was a guy that I originally went to and said, hey, I wrote a story. Would you guys take a look at it? And he hooked me up with he helped me a bunch, and I have to thank him for that. But he hooked me up with Dustin Menno, who I think is kind of their chief editor, and he is at Dustin GM. And they published my story, and I was absolutely blown away at the response. I thought I was just going to get absolutely just abused and slated all week long, and surprisingly somewhat of the opposite. So if you go to the Cartilage Free Captain website, you'll see an article that I wrote, and it was ultimately about Enoch not being so evil after all. It was motivated by an article, well, a number of articles, but one in particular that I had read that I think didn't give Enoch a fair shake. I'm not so much an Enoch apologist, but I think I'm able to maybe be a little bit more even-handed than most. of my background. So I wrote it, and they were kind enough to publish it, and it got a lot of feedback, and I'm eternally grateful. And if there's ever a way that we can return the favor to those guys, we'd love to.
It was a very well-written, very neutral and unbiased
but comprehensive.
Sam. Yeah, and
Thank you.
You're right. Your background did lend itself to providing more insight than I think there are fans out there who are so blinded by what they see or perceive as boardroom dealings, and including Levy, that they come to these assumptions which are totally inaccurate and unfounded, and some well-known fan forums kind of feed on that. And when some of them don't want to take what you have to say and somebody else does and runs with it, and you get the kudos for what was said, then power to you, brother.
Thank you very much. So very, very kind of those guys, and we're grateful. I mean that's more of Hotspur America getting out there. So it's kind of fun to do that.
Appreciate that.
That's all I have.
Take me home,
Kenny.
Country roads
And chairman
the place.
in Chicago, Hard Rock chairman. We'll have to tell the listeners why we're going to call you Hard Rock chairman. We'll do that another time.
Okay.
But I just want to say, get in their sons.
and for the rest of you lot, be kind to one another. Unless does quarterback wear red? I don't know. Unless the other team's wearing red.
We don't even know what colors they
What is
are.
a Carabag? Anyway, I'm going to wiki that. Carabag. Smells bad.
Oh.
It sounds like something smells funny. Anyway.
Unless they're wearing red.